Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different saga-wide implications that will lead to many different revelations in this story by writer and director J.J. Abrams and creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of fans are very curious about is exactly how J.J. Abrams is really going to open the movie and end the movie, and thus ending the Skywalker saga forever. This movie really is very important, not just to Disney and Lucasfilm, but also to us, the Star Wars community, because this film really will determine the future of the franchise and exactly where things are going moving on forward. And I think it's pretty safe to say that by far the true driving force for the hype of this movie all has to do with Palpatine's role in Episode 9 and what kind of revelations will be attached to all of this. Now, specifically on top of everything here, we do know that JJ wants to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is out of the entire Skywalker saga. I've honestly expressed my opinion about this before in the past. I don't believe that he can really top Revenge of the Sith, but that's just my opinion. Now, what's really intriguing has all to do with the first scene of The Rise of Skywalker. Now, specifically shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that the opening of the film is said to involve a vital scene in the very beginning of the movie, in which there is said to be a shot of space where the shot actually shifts down to the world of Exegol, revealing the dead world with tons of lightning storms that's happening from all different areas of the planet. It's said that to the right portion of the frame, Kylo Ren's TIE fighter is said to pass by, heading for the surface of this dead world. It's explained that Kylo Ren has obtained a device called the Wayfinder that once belonged to Darth Vader that was created by Darth Maul before it fell into the hands of Vader when it was stolen. This device is said to include a secret hyperspace route to the dead world of Exegol that contains the location of Palpatine, which is actually said to be something that is actually kept very secret to this dead world of Exegol that will actually surprise Kylo Ren. Once Kylo Ren begins to land his TIE fighter on the surface of this world, he senses a dark presence in the large black cube structure that serves as Palpatine's base and hideout. However, Kylo does not know who is inside of this structure. Kylo Ren ignites his lightsaber and heads toward the entrance of the base, where he takes an elevator down towards the very bottom. As he makes his way down, he stops the elevator at the very bottom, where small, short creatures are walking around and attending these large barrels or tanks. These tanks are said to all include clones of Supreme Leader Snoke, that Palpatine was behind Snoke the entire time right from the get-go. It's said that Kylo examines the tanks and is said to be shocked of what he begins to witness, where he begins to approach another room, where he sees an old man on his deathbed surrounded by Sith loyalists. This old man is said to be Palpatine on the verge of death, where he begins to laugh, scaring Kylo Ren, where Kylo points his lightsaber at Palpatine's neck. This is where Kylo asks who or what you are, reveals that he is Darth Sidious. Kylo replies to Palpatine, implying that he does not believe him, and that he must just be another clone, just like Snoke from what he saw. Palpatine tells Kylo not a clone, but a man with purpose. Sidious orders Kylo Ren to find Rey, who is his granddaughter, and wants him to bring her before him, so that he can reunite with her and rightfully turn her to the dark side of the Force. Palpatine's appearance in the scene is said to be as if he is just about to die. He looks weak, frail, and different than how he does in the originals. Sidious tells Kylo Ren that he will promise him the power that Darth Vader once had if he succeeds, and that Kylo wants Rey now from learning that she is indeed a descendant of the Emperor himself. Kylo is said to take the saber away from Palpatine's neck and deactivates it, where Palpatine delivers the iconic line, "Good." So let's go over a couple of parts about this. So what's really intriguing about the first scene of The Rise of Skywalker is that it's all dark side oriented. Once again, I think that this is the best way to go. The fact that it starts right from Kylo's story to Palpatine's story, and the big revelation about Supreme Leader Snoke being a clone in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. So about the clones, let's jump into that for just a couple of seconds here. This is all, of course, inspired from Star Wars Legends, where Palpatine had many different clones of himself. And it does make one wonder, could it very well be possible that Palpatine maybe at one point in time was testing with these Snoke clones to use as a vessel, if you will, permanently speaking, before he was actually going to die? Now, these clones, by the way, as we went over before in the last couple of other videos, is that he actually is prepping equipping them to be a part of his new Sith Empire as these new warriors. Now, Palpatine has this new Sith Empire in the works. He wants to recreate the new Sith Empire where there's tons and tons of, Sith Lords. That could very well explain as to why there are numerous, versions of Snoke in these containers, if you will, that are being pretty much attended by these creatures that are called the relics. Now, what's really interesting about this is that in the very opening of the scene, there is actually said to be a segment in which Kylo Ren points his lightsaber at Palpatine's neck. That's going to be a scene that I think a lot of fans are going to be very excited to see on the big screen, and does allude to what we saw in the latest TV spot called Duel. You guys may remember the TV spot that dropped on Thanksgiving Day. It's actually called Duel. Go ahead and check it out. That moment in which you do see Kylo Ren pointing his saber, where he's got that real angry look on his face, that's actually toward Palpatine on his deathbed. So you get an idea of exactly what that particular moment is going to look like, and you even do get a brief look at the black cube structure. Let's talk about that black cube structure. So Palpatine's base that is actually going to be unveiled in the very, beginning scene of episode 9 is said to be the base that once belonged to the original version of Snoke and Snoke's master called Kylo Ren. Now, this actual base is really a dark temple at heart. Originally, it was a dark temple that belonged to Kylo Ren during the Old Republic era that Palpatine turned into his brand new throne room. In fact, that throne that you do see is actually the throne of Kylo Ren that Palpatine now claims as his own. So you can see how they're really tying a lot of things into the Old Republic, and how they're tying a lot of things to Snoke, and how Snoke once lived on the world of Exegol and was killed by Palpatine when Palpatine arrived here after his supposed death during the events of Return of the Jedi, where everybody thought that they defeated Palpatine once and for all. So about the world of Exegol, what's really interesting about Exegol is that it's said to be a very dark planet. It's said to be a very dark side oriented planet because it rests right near the most powerful force nexus there is, that is actually labeled as the Beyond. Now, the Beyond is said to be a location of the origins of the dark side, and Exegol is right near it, which explains as to why you have a lot of lightning going around constantly, never stopping, and that's exactly why Palpatine has to actually go below the surface of the planet because of the constant lightning storms. So that's a very interesting aspect of Episode 9, is because this is basically the destination of the very depths of the dark side of the Force that Kylo Ren travels to. But what I find to be more intriguing is that Kylo Ren doesn't believe that Darth Sidious is Darth Sidious at first, because he believes he is dead, and he claims that he is just a clone because of what he saw with Snoke. That's very interesting, and I think it's a very clever moment, because Kylo Ren comes to the realization that Snoke was just a clone, so why would he believe that Palpatine is really the real Palpatine, and he might as well just kill him off. But Palpatine unveils that he is the original Sidious, of course, that trained Darth Vader to become Darth Vader, as we all know and love him, and exactly, what he wants. He wants Kylo Ren to find Rey and to bring her before him so that Palpatine can reunite with his granddaughter and turn her to the dark side. Hence why you see those visions of Dark Rey. Palpatine is essentially initiating those visions within Rey's mind. And the last thing I just want to tap into here real quick is, of course, you can see that Kylo Ren is not falling for Palpatine's tricks right now. Palpatine is said to actually be in a state where he's on the verge of death. Kylo Ren knows this, and Kylo Ren knows that Sidious was the expert manipulator, and learns about this because he knows about Snoke being a puppet of Palpatine. Now he knows that Palpatine cannot be trusted. So basically, Kylo Ren is going in on this mission to find Rey in his own way. He has his own plans as well. He wants to find Rey to convert Rey to the dark side for his own, to take down Palpatine once and for all, and doesn't want Palpatine to live on. Meanwhile, that's of course going to lead Kylo Ren to the same exact room within Palpatine eventually, where he's going to be able to use the Force Conduit technique, hence rejuvenating himself to a far youthful state. So, with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this whole entire situation at the very beginning of Episode 9. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.